of brands like Savanna. So I thought I'd ask Robert, how does a comedian stand out and how do you know or select who you book for the campaigns that you do?
Sure, so you guys hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. I would say by incorporating Savanna into your scripts, so your stand-up scripts and also the content that you put out on social media. So it should look like the brand is part of your everyday life. It should come naturally, and then from there we can pick up the conversation. So as you'll be an unofficial Savanna ambassador, we can then look at ways how we can involve you in our events as well as our campaigns. So as Savanna, we also employ comedians as influencers, and we have a special focus on comedians that are still at grassroots level, so supporting them, investing in them before they become South Africa's next biggest comedy sensation.
Thank you. So I think it's quite interesting that Robert's saying social media and kind of your social media following, and you're all stand-up comedians. And so it really is crucial from wearing my one-eye jacket. That sounds terrible, but the hat, I mean. It's, we often, if we are looking at booking a comedian or somebody funny for a campaign, as much as they can command a room to do stand-up, we do look at their following, just as Robert said as well, just to make sure that they have got an engaged community. Also, when it comes to booking a talent for an actual gig, as much as they might be exceptional live and make for a really, really good live performance, we also want their followers to buy tickets to come to the event. So we will often look at sort of whether or not we feel that this comedy act or musician, even because we book musicians too, is actually going to help us with ticket sales. So it's that sort of fine line of you want to be a brilliant stand-up comedian, but you also need to grow your social media following in order to manage to get the kind of bookings that you're looking for. Going back to Robert, so you work with a lot of comedians on the brand, and I'm guessing some are easier to work with than others. I'm not going to ask you for the horror stories, but what I will ask you is there anything comedians can do as a brand to make your life easier?
Sure, so I would say, like for example, if a comedian is having a show, more than often than not, they come and ask us for financial support. So to go with, as a corporate, in order to invest, you need a really robust proposal. So the proposal should include a detailed financial support plan. So basically, the investment you're asking for needs to be line itemed, like literally, as to where all that money is going to go.
They can come to the budget, like
yes.
This is what I need to put my show on, this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, because that's the start of the conversation, right? And then also important things like the what and the when. So when is it going to happen and what actually is it that really needs to be clear and succinct. What your potential reach will look like for the show, and also what your return on investment will be, because like for example for Savanna, we look at what our ROI will be, what will we get out of it, because I mean no corporate will give you 100,000 rand without being clear on what they will get out of it in the end. So I think that's the most important thing, and what we've been seeing across the board quite recently is like we need that clear proposals to start as a starting block for the conversation.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I think we often get approached with comedians asking us to help get them sponsorship, and then when I look at their proposal, they literally want the sponsor to fund the entire thing, which a sponsor will subsidize the cost. You do need to raise the rest of the capital either by ticket sales or bringing additional sponsors on board. But I think having a frank conversation with the brand and saying this is what it's going to cost me to put it on, if the brand believes in you and wants to support you, they're going to be able to offer you what they can or what they think is worthwhile, or sort of, yeah. So going back to James Tomiya Jesu.